Hey guys, I'm Christie Vanover. Today we're cooking with Cowboy and we're gonna make flank steak tacos. Let's talk about the flank steak. This is a thinner cut, thinner than like a ribeye or a New York strip, but it's still thicker than a skirt steak. You can see nice fibers here. When we slice into this to make tacos, it's gonna be super nice and tender. The flank steak is located just below the navel of the cow, while the skirt steak is a little bit more toward the top. Skirt steak has a little bit more fat, is a little bit more tender. So to fix that tenderness, we're gonna put this in a marinade. There is no need to have an extra bowl. We're gonna mix everything together right here in this plastic bag. I am gonna open it up though, so all the meat gets exposed. Anytime you make a marinade, you wanna make sure that you have some acid. That's gonna help break down the meat fibers to make them tender. So right here, I've got a half a cup of red wine vinegar. Any type of vinegar will really do. I just really like red wine vinegar when I'm making tacos. You also want to use some sort of a citrus element. So I've got the juice of 4 squeezed limes here. And we're going to add this right in. Again, mix things up. Use orange juice, use lemon juice, whatever's in season, whatever you think tastes great. And then we need that salty element, that umami element. And this is where we're going to use a cup of soy sauce. There's no need to add any additional salt because soy sauce has a lot of that sodium already in it. Next, you need some aromatics. I've got 4 cloves of minced garlic, and now we just need some extra spices. Take my glove off so we stay clean. I'm using my brisket rub here, just a couple of teaspoons. This is a little bit of salt, pepper, garlic, and some chilies. And then you need that sweetness. You can use white sugar, you can use brown sugar. Today we're gonna use just a little bit of honey. About a tablespoon or so should do. All right, now to make all this magic happen, we need to mix everything together. I'm gonna seal the bag, press out as much air as you can, and then give it a shake. Get everything nice and mixed together, and I actually like to massage it into the meat just a little bit. This is gonna help with the marinating even more and really start to get those flavors really nice and infused in there. Looks like I've got a little more air. So just carefully open it, just press that out. That way you get more of the liquid actually touching the meat instead of the air. This is ready to go into the refrigerator. You want to refrigerate it for at least 1 hour. That'll give you some nice flavor, but you can refrigerate it for up to 8 hours, and that'll really intensify the meat flavor, and that vinegar and the lime juice will really start to break down the fibers to make it even more tender. So let's go put it in the fridge. Okay, I've had the flank steak in the refrigerator for several hours, so it gets nice and tender. One important step before we throw it on our hot grill is to pat it dry. The reason that you want to do this is because you want to get rid of the moisture. If there's moisture on your flank steak, then it's going to steam on the grill instead of sear, and we want to get those nice charred edges before we slice into it to make our tacos. I'm going to make sure to get both sides. You can really see that that marinade has soaked in. Change the color just a little bit, which means it's flavored all the way through. All right, let's go put this on the grill. Okay, we've got the grill all set up. I'm using the Cowboy charcoal, all natural hardwood briquettes, and we're using direct heat. We want the grill nice and hot. You ready for the sizzle? That's what you want to hear. Make sure that your flank steak is flat all the way across the grill. That's gonna give us a nice even char. This is a super quick cook. It's just gonna take a couple minutes per side. We're gonna let that roll for just a minute. All right, this step is totally optional, but if you wanna make some impressive grill marks, after about 1 to 2 minutes, give it a turn, and that'll give you those nice diamond marks. Okay, let me give you a Pitmaster pro tip. Before I flip my meat, I always take a little peek to just see how the grill marks are doing. That way you don't have to commit and flip too soon. They look pretty good. Let's go. Nice, we've got that beautiful color on it. Now we're just gonna cook it to your preferred doneness. You can use a thermometer if you'd like. About 125 to 130 is gonna be a beautiful medium rare. All right, let's pull the steak off the grill. One of the most important things when you grill a steak is to let it rest. So we're gonna let it rest here for a good 5 to 10 minutes. Right now, all of the juices are super active and they're floating all around inside of this cut. If we were to slice right into this, all of those juices would just end up on the cutting board. So instead, we're gonna let them settle back into the meat so that our taco meat is nice and tender. All right, I just put a little bit of heat on these tortillas so they'll be nice and soft. Now let's cut into the steak. We've let it rest for a good 5 to 10 minutes. One thing I want to point out is you can see the way that the grain of this muscle is flowing. You see this? If I were to cut this way, when you eat your steak, it's going to be really tough. Instead, you want your slice to go against the grain, so perpendicular to the grain. That way those fibers are just going to fall apart when you take a bite. I usually like to do about a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch thick for tacos. This smells so good. One of these days, YouTube is going to set things up to where you guys can smell all the flavors we're cooking. Check out that steak. I'm going to slice all this up so we can layer it into some tacos. This is one of those steaks that you can cook to any temperature you prefer. I like my steak rare to medium rare. My husband likes his steaks well done. So for him, I'm going to cut slices on this end. The thinner side is always going to be more well done. And if you like it more rare or medium rare, you'll take your cut right from the center. Then for taco pieces, what I like to do is just slice them in half or slice them into thirds, and then open up the taco bar, let everybody come up. I like to have lime wedges, tomatoes, some cotija cheese. We've got a nice blend of onions and jalapenos and cilantro, and those warm shells. Let's build ourselves a taco. I like to add a couple pieces of steak, put on those wonderful toppings, tomatoes. And there you go, grilled flank steak tacos. I know you're gonna leave a thumbs up. All right guys, it is taco time. I hope you guys enjoyed this cook. I wanna see you make it, and be sure to leave comments and let me know how it turns out for you. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. And as always, keep cooking with Cowboy.